So good morning, guys. So today I'm going to show you how to use our sewing machines, how to identify all the different control knobs and how to thread them. The idea here is that although we have several different models of sewing machines in the classroom, that they're all similar in concept and idea and pretty much function the same way. And are threaded very, very similarly also. So let's go over the Singer Tradition first. I have several different types of Singers. Again, they're all pretty much the same idea. So first of all, you need to know where the power button is down here on the right-hand side. Usually when you snap a power button on, you're gonna get a light here underneath your sewing needle. So that way you know it's on. You also have this large circular revolving control right here. This basically is our manual control lever. I don't know if you can see this. When I rotate this towards me, it brings the needle up and down manually. I can do this without giving it any gas. We use this a lot. Okay, so here in the front, the first control I'm going to show you here is basically our stitch selection control. So let's see if I can zoom in here. Here you go. So it's set right now on a straight stitch in the center, needle in the center. This would be a straight stitch with the needle to the right. These are zigzag stitches, and then there's different types of stitches we have to use here. But for our purposes, we're probably going to keep it on the straight stitch, and we're going to use zigzags throughout the lesson. So go ahead and keep it set in the middle. These right here are button stitches. If you needed to do a buttonhole, this is how you do it. We can go over that later, but not today. The next one here is our stitch length. So basically what this is saying is if you have this set at a 1, there's several stitches within an inch, right? Like probably somewhere around 24, I would imagine. 4 would mean that there's less stitches within an inch, so probably somewhere between 6 and 8. That's just general. On other machines it will actually tell you. But we're just going to keep this set at a 4 just to keep things easy on you guys, okay? The next one is this little guy popping up over here. This is what we call tension. It actually says it right there. Oop. Tension. This is really similar to when we were crocheting, how I had you hold the yarn in your hands a certain way so that it created a tension on your thread so it wasn't too loose and it wasn't too tight. The machine actually will do that here for you. So it goes all the way up to 9, but we're going to keep it set probably again at around a 4. So 4 here, 4 stitch length. Do that to keep it easy on you guys. Okay, the next big control you guys need to know about is the reverse button. We will use reverse every time we sew. So to reverse, you're going to push it down and hold it and give it some gas. And then when you're done reversing, you let it go, okay? So that's that. The other thing down here, this one's pretty important too, is if I flip my machine around here. Okay, here we go. You see this little lever right here? Okay, goes up and down. Okay, well when that's up, what it does is it lifts my presser foot. This guy right here, this is called a presser foot. Basically this keeps the fabric snapped into the machine, right? So it's up right now. I can actually put my finger underneath it, but when I drop that lever down, it will push the presser foot down, right? Super important. Before you sew, you always make sure that presser foot is down. Otherwise, you're going to jam your machine and have to wait for me to come and fix it. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and thread this guy so you know how to get started. So let me lift this up a little bit more for you. To start, we're going to take our thread and we're going to put it right here on this spool holder. This one's a little different. It's kind of set to the side. We put the spool on there so that the thread comes from behind it like this. Okay. So most of the machines are actually going to give you a little guide on how to do this. But if they don't, just let me know and I will help you. Let's get some light. Too much light. Okay, so this machine, thankfully enough, actually has a guide for you. It actually shows you instructions on how to do this. So right here it says 1 and there's another 1. The black one with the dotted line shows you how to thread a bobbin. We'll go over that later. We're not worried about that one. We're just looking at the solid line, okay? So for the first one here, I'm going to actually pop this through the guide loop, just like that. It's in there, ready to go. And then it says you're going to come around here. This is another thread guide, and just come down. There we go. Okay, so from here, let me back up a little bit. There we go. Okay, so from here, down here it says number 3, do a U-turn. So this is going to come like this, up and over. Okay, then number 4, I don't know if you guys can see this here. Again, you're going to do another U-turn, but there's nothing here to do a U-turn over. You actually have to manually rotate the control, lift that bar up here, that silver bar, and then this is going to go around the bar from right to left, and then there's a little hook in there that the thread gets caught onto. Okay, so let's go ahead and lower you even more. Okay, good. Okay, so there's one more hook, and you can see right here, this says number 5. It's not focusing for me. Why are you not focusing? I'm too close maybe. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, so what they're talking about is this little hook right here. You want to make sure that you take that thread, so take it with 2 hands, actually slide it between that hook from front to back, make sure it's from front to back, and then in that last guide right there, the last part of this is to get this, of course, through the tip of the needle. And how you can do that is drop that presser foot, you lift that needle up. I don't know if you guys can see the hole right there through the tip. Yes, you want to get this tiny thread through that tiny hole, and this is how I do that. I'm going to hold it really, really close to the end here with my fingers. I don't know if you guys can see how small that is. And then from the front to the back, I just set it right through there. Don't let your thread get caught up in there. Just like that. All right, and the top part is ready to go. So that's only the top. So you're pretty much halfway there. So let me show you how to do the next step of this. I'm going to go ahead and slide off this arm right here. Just kind of pulls to the left. Some of these actually have little pockets in here to keep your stuff, which is actually really, really convenient. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and open up this bottom part down here, and here is my bobbin carrier. So I'm going to grab this arm right here, see how it kind of pops out, and pull this out of the machine. Oops. So something like this, okay? And you see in here what I have is there's another spool of thread in here. We call this a bobbin, and it actually comes out. And we will need to replace this every so often, okay? So bobbin carrier has a little arm here, and then this is the bobbin itself. The bobbin fits inside the carrier so that when I pull the thread, it actually spins clockwise. You see that? If you pull it and it goes the opposite direction, you put it in the wrong way, your machine will most likely jam on you. So I always want to make sure that it spins in a clockwise motion. There we go, looks good. So I'm just going to take this here. Here is my bobbin carrier, and I'm going to put this in. I'm going to give this a pull now. Now, focus for me. There's a little slit right here. That thread's going to go through that slit all the way up to the top, so that when I pull it, it spins clockwise, okay, all the way up through the top right there. Okay, now I'm going to open this up again. Sometimes it helps for me to kind of push the machine forward. You see right here, it looks like a little puzzle piece. The arm from the bobbin carrier is going to set right in there, so I'm just going to kind of carefully put this on the post there, line my arm up with that hole, and then give it a snap. Push it in. There you go. Now I know I'm ready. The bottom part is loaded and ready to go. Go ahead and close that up. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to take the red thread from the top and I'm going to hold this tight. I'm not going to let it go slack, and I'm not going to hold it too tight, just nice and even. Now I'm going to drop the needle manually down all the way underneath, and it's going to pick up the white thread on the bottom. Give the red thread a pull. You guys see the white thread there. So I got it. If you didn't do it the first time, keep rotating that needle all the way down and up, and it should grab that bottom thread. Just take a scissor and go through the loop. You're going to pull this so that, just along, there we go, so that both threads are coming to the middle of the machine here. And when you have that, pretty much ready to start sewing. So I just want to show you, I'm not going to cut this really close to here. I'm actually going to give this a cut somewhere like way out over here. Why am I doing that? It's a waste of thread, yes. But because we are beginners, I have learned that it's easier to have longer thread to the left instead of shorter. If it's too short, it will get stuck in the machine when the next person comes to sew. So just to keep things moving. Okay, so that part is done. I'm going to throw that to the back. This is going to slide back onto here, and I'm pretty much ready to start sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I have a piece of practice fabric right here. When you put your fabric into your sewing machine, usually you have the excess fabric off to the left side. And for this one I do, where's that reverse? Okay, there we go. I want to make sure I catch that. So usually you sew towards the edge of your fabric, just like this. So there's also some guides here on the plate. So usually I keep it either even with the presser foot, or I'll give it to usually like 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I always start at the beginning too. So you want to put that fabric beyond beyond the needle. You don't want to start it here, right? You want to actually put it underneath that foot. Okay, so here we go. There is a gas pedal on the ground. You're driving this like a car. Yes, you are. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna actually tie a knot first. And how I'm gonna tie the knot is I'm gonna go forward a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere like that. And now look, I'm going to push and hold this reverse button down as I reverse a few. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Now I can let go, and then I'm just gonna go to the end. My knot has been tied. Just kind of hold the fabric, just kind of guide it carefully down. I don't not hold it. Now look, when I get towards the end, I'm going to reverse it again. So I push and hold the reverse button back a couple times, let go, and I'm just going to go off the fabric. So you see I'm actually off the fabric now. I can lift my presser foot. Don't forget to put that down when you begin. And I can gently pull this out to the side. If I can't, I'm going to manually lift and drop my hook until it releases. And then again, I'm going to give this a cut somewhere way out over here so that the thread doesn't get sucked back up into my machine. And then basically, I have stitched for the first time. So red on the front, white on the back. You probably can't see that very well. I have my knots tied. See, that's kind of be what it looks like. And you just sewed for your first time on the machine. Have fun.